Hey Earth Guardians, welcome back to my channel. It's Serpentine, the Priestess of Time, and your guide through the game of life. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Swati, Libra, which is essentially going to be like a November 2024 energy update because the new moon is on November 1st, and these energies will be with us for not just the first and like the surrounding days, but the entire lunation cycle of 1 month. So let's get into it. So normally I'm giving these readings live over at twitch.tv/Serpentine Rising 3 days a week, but unfortunately my internet kind of crapped out today. So I am just pre-recording this. I'm just going to post it per usual on my YouTube channel. Lately I've been posting 3 times a week as well. Before I begin, I just want to have a little friendly reminder that I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. So if this reading resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Head on over to Twitch, head on over to my IG, my Twitter account, TikTok. I'm kind of everywhere. You can find all the links in my bio area, and I would really appreciate your support. Thanks so much. All right, let's get into it. New moon in Swati. Have the courage to follow your heart. Ongoing profound exposures ask you to be honest with yourself about what you truly desire and what shadows within and without have kept you from pursuing it or them. Deep inner clarity sparks rapid movement / messages. So like information coming to you, people sending messages and stuff like that, and vice versa. You could be sending people messages and stuff like that. An opportunity for rebirth and good fortune after heavy release. Be intentional around the use of technology. Magic is in the air. So this is just what came in from my pre-stream divination. And now we're going to get into the cards I just pulled. So let's get into it. For awareness, we have 7 of Swords. Not gonna lie, this came front and center in the pre-stream divination reading. So we love to see the consistency, I guess. This version of 7 of Swords definitely really highlights the creepy factor. Like, this is a time where you might feel like there are a lot of prying eyes on you, because obviously there's gonna be exposures of information from outside of you that you're going to be getting. But this is also about the exposures that you are finding out within yourself. And I think a lot of it is going to be around certain people's like unprocessed or unacknowledged desires for what they want in their life, because the underlying energy is 9 of Pentacles, which is very in line with the Swati energy. Swati is a star that has to do with being independent and going your own way and like carving out your own destiny. And the same kind of is said about 9 of Pentacles. It's a card of independence and a card of freedom, like financial freedom for a lot of people to a certain extent. So I think that if there are a lot of reveals, it's going to be because people are realizing that they don't want to be a part of certain relationships anymore, certain jobs, certain things that they want to be individuating from because they've gotten insight and information either from within themselves or from the outside that are kind of providing enough of a energetic push to get them to go solo, so to speak. We're also seeing a lot of people talking about like people going solo in Hollywood because the systems are collapsing and stuff like that, whereby people are talking about, indie movies, indie TV. This can be talking a lot about people who are wanting to start projects independently because they are aware that there are forces within the system that they're working within that are not really conducive to their success and stuff like that. And also, this is a time of shadow work, especially in relationships. We see with this person, there's a bit of a halo of like the white and the black around this person. And we have Venus and Virgo highlighted on here, which talks about taking a practical approach to relationships. That's kind of a no-nonsense thing because you are kind of just being mathematical around your approach to relationships. Like Libra is about transaction in many ways. Like it's the scales of the marketplace, and the number one marketplace is like the marketplace of your energy and like how you are giving and receiving in the context of any kind of relationship, like not just business, but it could be that, we're finding out just it's a bit of a shady vibe, like not gonna lie, but it's also about just being aware of the ways in which you have participated in dynamics that maybe are not favorable to you anymore, and being honest with yourself about the role that you played in that, because you can't really fully individuate from certain things without taking accountability within your own self, so that you don't have a repeat of the same thing happening again. You know what I mean? So just a time to really be honest with yourself for sure, because Venus is the ruler of Libra, and we already have had a lot of recurring messages around Venus in Scorpio revealing things and exposures. And this was definitely front and center, I think, because of that, because Venus is kind of like leading the way in terms of this. And Venus will be going into Sagittarius in the toward only maybe a week after the new moon, but that will be on the tail of the election happening. And so I do think that there's going to be a bit of a adjustment period due to what is revealed through that collective experience. And the moon is going to be in Mula on the day of the election. And I was speaking a little bit about the next transit of Mula in my last video, and I sort of forgot that it was the election. Then afterwards I was like, oh yeah, it is the election. And then Venus moves into Mula the very next day, and that's a very destructive energy. And it's giving tower vibes. It's giving, big shakeups and stuff like that. And you never know, the things that can come out when there's a lot of chaos around. It's like people don't have the capacity to hide things as easily as they once did. And this can also be talking about, things that are happening in the court, because we have Libra being very active. So if there are legal situations, it may be that there are things that are being uncovered through a trial or through discovery or through some sort of investigation that's going on. There's going to be a lot of awakenings, I think, because Mars in Cancer is really stimulating the third eye. So it may just be also that because our third eye is getting blasted, we're seeing more. Again, this is within and without. So just be aware, and try not to shy away from what comes up, even if it's uncomfortable, because it's coming up for a reason. And it's really good that you integrate that. And speaking of integration, we have Two of Swords in reverse, talking a lot about, and we have Libra on here too, talking about finally having enough clarity to break out of any indecision in terms of next steps of your life. And it may be that you're already kind of experiencing this, and by the time you are at this new moon energy, and as the month continues to develop, you will be making some pretty significant choices, because we have, not to speed ahead here, but we do have Ace of Wands coming in for choice. And this has the volcano on it, which is really interesting, because it's talking about the decisions that you're making that are based in inspiration, that are based in passion, that are really connected to the truth of who you are and what you desire. And we also have, for the Goddess Oracle, one of them anyway, a little sneak preview, we have Pele, Divine Passion, and it has the same volcano imagery on it. And this card literally says, be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? And I literally even say in here, in the pre-stream divination, this graphic that I made days ago, I say, what do I say in here? Yeah. Ongoing profound exposures ask you to be honest with yourself about what you truly desire and what shadows within and without have kept you from pursuing it. So it seems like you're going to be acknowledging what those shadows are and really facing the truth and all that kind of thing. And you're going to be breaking out of indecision pretty quickly. In fact, you may have already kind of started this around the full moon time of the full moon in Ashwini. And so it may just be that the things that are being revealed only serve to double down on your desired decisions that you are going to be making or are in the process of making. And Ace of Wands, again, it's a powerful spark of inspiration, a powerful drive forward, a decisive action or actions towards a new status quo for yourself. And it's because you are not being incongruent in the way that you were before around what you truly want and what your actions are. They're going to be more aligned. So we love to see that. For result, we have Four of Swords, which is interesting because we have two full moons appearing here, and this one to me feels like the full moon in Ashwini that we just had in like mid-October, because we are breaking out of the indecision. But this full moon kind of looks like the full moon that's coming up, the full moon in Kritika, and both of these full moons are in Aries. We're having like a double Aries full moon because the first one was at 0 degrees. So it was really talking a lot about like the feeling between worlds vibes, the Gandanta point energy, which is why you might have been feeling a lot of like pressure or intensity around what's coming up in order to be able to like make decisions for your future. And this is talking a little bit about once you've made the choices that you need to make, taking some time to really sit with the fruits of that, the results of that, because it feels like there's going to be a need to make sure that you're not powering forward too quickly and taking time to tend to your lower chakras and ground and stuff like that, because it does feel like, you know, you want to keep the flame alive, but you don't want to burn out, right? So this is about like having the confidence to make those decisions that are inspiring to you and that are, you know, fueled by your passion and your desire, that's aligned with like what you truly want in your life. But it's also going to be important that you don't just go too hard, and that you give yourself the chance to kind of like not spiritually bypass basically the shadow work that's coming up here, and giving yourself time to integrate, you know, what it is that is starting to congeal in your reality here based on these decisions. But I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy, because again, this is a minor arcana card, and I kind of feel like the influence of other energies are going to be kind of mitigating that a little bit. And this is only natural when the sun is in Libra. It tends to just be a little bit like lower energy due to the fact that it is technically debilitated there. But so long as you just like remain confident in the choices that you're making, because you know that they are ultimately serving your actualization of a more independent and abundant and fulfilled experience in your life. We have oracles. We'll start with the goddess oracles because I already started with one. So again, we have Pele, divine passion, with the volcano vibes, really leaning into your passions, riding those waves as they are. You know, you wouldn't have these desires if you weren't meant to work with that in some way. And then we have Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do, trust your inner wisdom, and take appropriate action without delay. So it's like, yeah, we know that it's choice time now. It's crunch time. You have to be making certain decisions due to the karmas, but it doesn't really feel like this is going to be something that takes you too long to do. And it may just be that by the time you reach the new moon, you are already positioning yourself to act on that. And it's going to be then about what choices you're going to be making in the follow-up of that are going to be sustaining that and supporting that and growing that. Because again, the ace is just the beginning. It's just the spark. But the more you spark it, like the fire will grow and all that kind of thing. For the animal oracle, we have fish in reverse. So again, this is about honoring your energy levels and going with the flow, because it's not going to be a straight shot. This reminds me a little bit of the Mars in Cancer reading part 1 that I gave. I'd recommend that reading in relation to this, because Mars is the ruler of Scorpio where Venus is, and Venus is the ruler of this lunation. So there's a bit of a connection there. And what I said in that reading was that you have to pay attention to the moon and where it is on any given day, because that's going to have an impact a little bit on like your vitality and how you are kind of working with the ongoing energies of the Mars and Cancer situation, which is related to the Vision Quest energy. Like it has a lot to do with this third eyes getting woke and finding out information and having your kind of worldview expand a little bit in that sense. So when I said that about the Mars reading with the fall of the moon, it's like you will be, because the moon rules Cancer, it's like it's going to have an impact every day based on where it is in the nakshatra, or every 2.5 days based on where it is in the zodiac. So if you track the moon, especially because we have the moon appearing on here and the moon appearing on here, it's like, pay attention to where the moon is. It's a good exercise. Even if you're not Cancer ascendant or have a lot of Cancer placements, it can be really helpful to familiarize yourself with that. And it can give you an idea of what days are going to be more favorable for forward movement and what days are going to be more favorable for, maybe taking a bit of a breather so that you can restore your energy and not get burnt out. And that goes for like your emotions also, like not just like your energy levels, but like your capacity to show up emotionally for yourself and other people, like emotional availability and emotional volatility and stuff like that. For the Sacred Symbols Oracle, we have past life appearing here with the pyramid on it and the sun. It may be that things that are being revealed to you with this awareness have to do with your past life incarnation, and that there's some connection between what it is that you are wanting to bring into form or solidify in your life with decisions that you will be making that are based on that information that you are getting. Again, that's a very esoteric way of looking at it. But with past life, this is also talking about K2 and the eclipse stories as well. So it's going to be important to be aware that it might just be a time of like connecting to wisdom downloads and stuff like that, because we have this Athena card appearing here as well. And K2, the South Node, is currently in Virgo, which is 12 signs away from Libra. So in a sense, it's kind of like putting the planet in the 12th house from this new moon, which talks a lot about like being a little bit in your spiritual hermit mode and finding out things through dreams and finding out things through intuition and downloads and all that kind of thing. And kind of just keeping to yourself a little bit while that information comes in, so that you can be best positioned to act upon that without too much outside interference, is something that's coming through. Also, for the Galactic Heritage deck, we have Primal Fear in reverse and Progressive Desires in reverse. So I think this is one of those things where if you feel like the desires that you have that are coming up are like taboo in nature, because I do think for some people this is going to involve like sexual things because of Scorpio and just kind of the vibes with the clearing of the collective sacral chakra and stuff like that. And the emphasis that we have here on like divine passion and the notion that, some people are becoming single right now potentially because maybe they desire something that they weren't involved in before. You know what I mean? So again, your mileage may vary, but I think this is really about letting go of the fear that your desires are like not good or not valuable or worthy of being pursued and that kind of thing, and really owning your desires and allowing yourself the freedom to pursue them without judging yourself and without giving a fuck about other people judging you and stuff like that, especially if that's what's been keeping you from your desires. And also just like not being afraid to be very honest with yourself, because sometimes we can shock ourselves with what it is that we desire, and that's not a bad thing. It's just going to be a little bit of an ego death thing. And again, with the sun being debilitated in Libra, it's one of those things where you might just be feeling a little bit like ego death around your desires, even if you know that you're aligning with your authenticity more and you're able to like pursue that more. It can be a little bit of a double-edged sword because you're feeling like some residual like discomfort come up around fully claiming that and owning that. And then lastly, for the oracles, we have faith in the process. So like stay strong. It may be that there's still a lot that is unknown around your capacity to like fulfill the promise of what it is that you are instigating and pursuing at this time. I really do feel like with this Ace of Wands, if you're not doing anything by the full moon, you will be, because the full moon in Kritika is ruled by Agni, the god of fire, and which is why we have so much fire popping up here around this full moon energy vibe for later in the month, but that will of course be another video coming later in the month. Take the leap. I think we've been hearing this a lot in the readings lately. Take the leap of faith and then keep the faith that the process will go the way that it's meant to go, and that you don't need to have needless freakouts with primal fear, and you can just see the fear for what it is, which is the old energy leaving the system and not really knowing where to go because you're shutting off access to the previous routes it was taking in your brain and everything like that. So you don't need to subscribe to that just because you see it. You can unsubscribe, but you should subscribe to this channel because we have a lot going on here. Now, for the cards at the bottoms of the decks, we got some good ones. From my tarot deck, Serpent Fire Tarot, we have Judgment. It kind of popped up in reverse. This is, again, just talking about, well, I was talking about earlier about like the brains and everything, but really this is about not indulging in self-doubt when you've already started the process. Like, just keep the faith again. It's keep the faith, show up for what you need to show up for, and trust that it's all working out for your highest evolution. We also have Raccoon appearing here. Again, it's like, come out of the shadows, come out of hiding. This is not a time to be playing small, in my opinion. And I think that's part of why this Judgment's coming up here, because it's like, you know that it's time to like come online more in a bigger way. And why are you not fully rising to the occasion when, like, why are you letting doubts keep you from potentially rising to the occasion, whatever, you know? There are things that the world needs that they want you to come out and express and share with the world. And I say this because we have sharing cultural ideals coming out here. So it's like, I think that there is an opportunity to really start to have an impact on other people's worldviews because you are showing up in your truth and authenticity and communicating or expressing yourself in a way that is able to share that with people in a way that they can digest and take in. And I think that, like, it's going to be important to remember that there are people who are meant to receive the things that we are here to share of ourselves, and that it's important that we don't needlessly plug our own connection, or clog our own drain kind of thing. From the Goddess deck, we have Coventina Purification. Again, it's so hard to see with this glare, but it says, it is time for a cleansing detoxification of your body and mind. Again, we also have like the Judgment card with the brain coming out of it, you know? So, and then we have this card, Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. So it's like, it might be getting a little insane in the membrane because you are detoxing a lot of fear from your mind energy, but that is not really, it's not the thing that you need to be focusing on. It's like they're telling you, just drop into your heart and try to not let the fear have an impact on like your actual decisions, and just like let it flow out the way it needs to flow out. And stay grounded, because we have this grounded card coming up in reverse. This is a good time to really reconnect with your spiritual practices and meditate and eat foods that are going to be grounding you and stuff like that, because a lot of times when there's a lot of reveals and it exposes a lot of things that create shakeups, we can feel ungrounded. When we have our third eye blasted open with the Mars and Cancer thing, we're seeing more again. It can make us feel ungrounded. So it's going to be a great time to really just be in your body, eat things that are going to like support you, you know, try to really check in with yourself and not get too carried away either by the fear or by your own excitement and passion that you are also experiencing. Because again, I think sometimes the fear comes from like, what if I don't get it, or what if I do get it? You know what I mean? It's like the fear of your own success could also be a thing that's popping up here. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here on my channel. Again, I'm Serpentine, the Priestess of Time, your guide through the game of life. If you would like to support this channel, please do like, share, subscribe. Also, I offer personal sessions. So if this reading resonated with you, check out my website, mythichearts.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. And I also have some mini pre-recorded oracle options in my shop, mythichearts.com/shop. And yeah, I'm live on Twitch, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, although sometimes I've been going a little rogue. Twitch.tv/Serpentine Rising. I give these readings live, and then I also talk about other stuff like current events, pop culture, occult stuff, conspiracies, whatever it is. And I also have been playing a lot of Honkai Star Rail. So if you're down for some chill vibes, spiritual, gaming, pop culture, I kind of cover it all. Head on over to my Twitch channel, and I would love to see you there. Yeah, I think that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you all have a great November, and until next time, may your heart lead on a path of destiny.